So I'm going to go over to the book layer, and at the bottom of the subtools you'll notice append. Append means that we can actually bring in an additional subtool that's on a different tool of its own. So I'll say append, and when I do that, this menu comes up that shows me all of the different options that I have. What I want is the bone, and that comes right in, right on top of our compass. And I'll go append one more time, and I'll bring in the skull. And I purposely made the skull smaller when I created it because I wanted to have the ability to scale it without it being perfect. When I gave it to you as a project, I wanted to make sure that you had the learning of scaling this and getting everything correct without me giving it too easy to you and too perfect. Okay, so what I want to do right now is, you'll notice these are all out of place. I'm going to go to my top view. However, I am in perspective, and now that I'm actually lining something up, I'll probably take that off. This way I'm in true orthographic and can really see everything properly. You'll also want to be careful, because although I did bring the skull in, that doesn't mean it's activated. In fact, whatever is the lighter color material is the one that's active. So I want to select on my skull. I want to go over to my scale, and I'm going to simply scale the skull to fit. I want it to be just about that, right? That size. Go up just a little bit. Perfect. And now on the side view, I'll bring that down. Obviously it's going into the book, and we have ways of clipping this off if we want to, but for what we're doing, I don't think that will be necessary. So I'll leave it there for now, and I could move it further later on. That all looks good. Excellent. So I want to go now to the bone and essentially do the same thing. So I'll drag a line for the bone. I do want to rotate. And now I'll move that into position. Let's see how it is on the side. Probably sunken a little bit too much in the downward position. So I'm going to bring it up just a little bit. Yeah, I think that's better. Okay, great. And it looks as though we need to rotate just a tad more. So just a little bit more. Perfect. Now, of course, we need an additional bone for the second side. So we'll just say duplicate, and now we can rotate the second bone. And if we want, we can get unique with it by swinging that all the way around. Perfect. Okay, that looks good. So obviously we hit a milestone. What do? We save. Keep in mind now we're in the book. So I'm going to save as, go to my book, and name that book 2, and save. Awesome. So you can see everything's really starting to come along. One thing I do want to see is the actual book cover. I don't necessarily care about all the other elements. I just want to see how the book cover looks with all of this. That's looking pretty neat. Again, you can see the skull penetrating into the book, but not too far in. So once we put the pages in, it'll actually be embedded within. So we can leave the skull the way it is. We don't need to clip it out. So I have that looking good. Go back to perspective. You can see a big difference with perspective turned on. The only thing I also want to turn on is the pages. So let's do that now, so we could just see how that fills itself in. In fact, the pages is what we're going to tackle next in the next lesson. So far, so good. Everything's looking really good. I'm really happy with the way it's turning out. So I'll see you in the next lesson.